No, give them time. Maybe I'm imagining things. But no, I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't confront them. I wouldn't provoke them. And still, people would show their true colors without me doing anything. And now, I don't doubt myself. I just wait and watch. Right now, I don't have any friends. I mean, technically, yes. There are many people I can call friends. I have contacts, numbers, and there are people I can text. But if I'm honest with myself, none of them really fit into what I understand as friendship. And I have made peace with saying that out loud. I don't have friends. For a long time, I thought something was wrong with me for feeling this way. But now, at 30, I realized this clarity came from observation, experience, and repeated emotional lessons. I feel things deeply, too deeply, some might say. When something happens, when I sense betrayal, dishonesty, or emotional manipulation, I don't wait. I simply cut off. I don't ask for explanations. I don't wait for closure. I don't want conversations that make me doubt my instincts. Because I have learned something about myself through these years. If my emotional system has already decided something is wrong, explanations only delay the inevitable. Most explanations are lies designed to protect the other person's image, not your peace. If someone wanted to treat you right, they wouldn't need a PowerPoint presentation to explain why they didn't. People often call this impulsive or immature. But for me, it's self preservation. I have a habit of observing people quietly. I have this inherent ability to read faces, energies, pauses, things people think they are hiding. And every single time I have ignored that inner discomfort, people have eventually proven me right. I have regretted every time I ignored my instincts. Initially, I used to think I was overthinking. I told myself, no, give them time. Maybe I'm imagining things. But no, I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't confront them. I wouldn't provoke them. And still, people would show their true colors without me doing anything. And now, I don't doubt myself. I just wait and watch. As a child, I was envious of girl friendships, not in a hateful way, but in a longing way. Till the 10th standard, I never had a best friend kind of thing. I was friends with everyone because we were classmates. We shared lunch, we shared notes, we helped with projects. That was it. There was nothing intimate, nothing so special. I was a bubbly, cheerful, and talkative girl. I literally used to talk to everyone. I was even friends with my seniors. But somehow I was always replaceable. In the 11th standard, things changed a little bit. I became friends with two girls. Gradually, our friendship became very strong. We were three, and our bond felt unbreakable. We were like sisters. For me, both of them were equal. But after finishing school, we parted ways due to education and jobs in different cities, and gradually everything ended on its own. And 2 years ago, that friendship ended completely. That was my first serious, real friendship heartbreak. After school, I made many friends. In college, I used to know a lot of people, and many people used to know me. In college, I had some people around me to talk to, but I never felt that kind of friendly connection with anyone. The sense of belongingness, that feeling never came. I noticed a pattern. I was always part of a group of three. In school, in college, in job, every time I was a part of a group of three. And I always treated people equally. If I gave two chocolates to one person, I would give two to the other. Equality was my instinct, but I was never an inherent part of the group. The other two would vibe, and I would be present physically but not included. The black sheep. Sometimes I would distance myself, sometimes they would make me feel small, and eventually I would leave. Not because I wanted to, but because I wanted a connection and they didn't want that connection with me. What hurt most wasn't losing people, it was realizing how easily I could disappear from their lives. If I cut off, nobody asked, nobody checked, nobody wondered if I was okay. That silence told me everything I needed to know. Today, I'm fine with having no friends. I go alone, I take myself on solo dates, I laugh alone, and honestly, this piece is something I never had before. I don't want to keep breaking my heart just to prove that I'm loyal or I'm a good friend. Being alone taught me that I can make decisions without anyone's judgment. I can choose myself without guilt. I can know myself without noise. Solitude gave me clarity, and clarity gave me strength. Despite everything, my nature never changed. If you need me at 2 a.m., I will be there without checking my comfort. People will throw shit at my face, they will betray me, they will disappear, and yet I will still help them if they ask. I will still run to their rescue at 2 a.m. Not because they deserve it, but because this is who I am. My name suits my character. 99% of my friends were fake. Some of them acted like hardcore Bollywood villains, and some were obviously dramatic backstabbers. They were emotionally cheap people, just emotionally cheap people. They criticized me every day. I remember I told one of my friends about my YouTube channel. You won't believe she started discouraging me by giving examples of some blah blah relatives who failed on YouTube. She literally said, वो आईआईटीएन दोस्त है मेरे भाई का वो फेल हो गया यूट्यूब पर तू किस खेत की मूली है. A real friend criticizes you occasionally and only when it actually matters. They don't keep a mental notebook of your flaws. Real constructive criticism is rare, very rare. Because constructive criticism comes from care, not control. It comes from concern, not comparison. And most importantly, it comes with support. But what I got in most of my friendships was not constructive criticism. It was constant nitpicking. Every day. If someone constantly points out what's wrong with you but never helps you grow, that's not friendship. That's jealousy disguised as care. They made fun of my insecurities. I grew up feeling insecure about so many things. They knew about my wounds, and instead of protecting me, they would rather joke about them. For them, that was a joke and humor, but for me, that was cruelty wrapped in laughter. They were professional gossipers. They gossiped about everyone. And one day it hit me. If they can talk about others like this, I'm definitely a topic at someone else's table. My trust died there. They were never there in my worst times. They disappeared when things got hard, and later they had the audacity to say, why didn't you tell us? You should have told us that you were ill or that you were going through bad times. They expected me to send an invitation card to come and see me. 2 फरवरी को मेरा मूड ऑफ रहेगा और मुझे चिल करने के लिए जलूल जलूल आना. Regards, your प्यारी नम्रता. They never supported my growth. They didn't clap for me. Jealousy doesn't always look like hate. Sometimes it looks like silence. A very good friend of mine unfollowed me on Instagram when I started uploading content on Instagram. And a few months later, she got married to her boyfriend. She didn't even invite me to her wedding. Not all friendships are meant to last. Here's a hard truth I learned about friendships in my late 20s. Not all friendships are meant to last. Some exist because you are young. Some exist because you are lonely. Some exist because you don't know your worth yet. Holding on to expired friendships doesn't make you loyal, it makes you lonely. Most adult friendships are based on convenience. Friendships at the workplace or just talking to someone when you feel lonely. When the convenience ends, the connection fades. I stopped choosing history over energy. I don't care how long I have known you. I care how I feel after meeting you. If I feel drained, anxious, or smaller, I'm done. Peace is more important than nostalgia. Boundaries cost me friends, and I'm okay with that. The moment I started saying no, people left. Not because I changed, but because access changed. Boundaries expose who benefited from your silence. I'm not lonely, but I have become selective. I'm not bitter, but I have become aware. And maybe friendship will find me again, but until then, I'm okay walking alone because I finally belong to myself.